tensions ongoing, but we're joined in the studio now by Emily Schrader, correspondent and YNet News and a social media activist. Emily, from what we know, more than 500 people have been killed so far in the protests at large. With any lack of formal news coverage, are we getting it all through social media? Is there a main window to what's happening in Iran?
Yeah, I mean, I think social media has really been key from the beginning in this uprising in Iran, hopefully revolution. It's really the way that the Iranians are using through VPN, because most of the social media platforms are actually blocked.
Off, controlled, yeah.
That's how they're getting out the information, the photos, the videos, the footage, the stories of what's actually happening on the ground in Iran, both to protesters on the street, you know, who you would envision as being a normal protester, but also teenagers, I mean schoolgirls who are bravely and fearlessly facing off against IRGC terrorists, really, on the streets of Iran.
You know, on the other side of that, you know, how much of the people there, I mean, what do we know? How much people there are able to access this social media? Make it their window outward, I think, is a term you used here as we were chatting here. I mean, are they seeing these international shows of solidarity? Is the message going both ways?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they are, as me personally, as an Israeli who's been very vocal from the beginning of this uprising, they are definitely paying attention. I think we see more pro-Israel activity from Iranians on the ground than we've ever seen before. I mean, this is a population that the vast majority of which actually opposes the regime and is unable to express that on the ground there. So what we see is a complete rejection of terrorism, of terrorist organizations, most of whom are enemies of the state of Israel. And as such, they are reaching out to Israelis. They are very moved to see that Israelis and Jewish communities are standing with them and speaking out in support of them. And social media really is our only way to communicate that right now. So it's a key factor in, you know, putting momentum into these people on the ground who are bravely facing off against the regime.
And we're still seeing these displays, I mean, pop up. I know there was a rally in London, you know, women removing the headscarves. You know, this Iranian chess master, I think, who took off who was, you know, going with her head uncovered. There's a lot of displays popping up all the time still. I mean, this is still in the consciousness, that collective consciousness of social media here.
Yeah, I mean, I think for over 100 days, they've been physically on the streets in different parts of Iran. The internet is limited. There have been a lot of different outages, and how they do is they will cut off by city by city. They don't cut it off all at the same time. So you never really know when people are going to be able to get messages out or to get updates out. So it's very sporadic and unreliable, which is one of the big challenges. At the same time, we do know that there is information still trickling out. And this is our key source for information of what's happening on the ground. And as people who are on the outside, I think that it's upon us, both, you know, as journalists or as activists or just as human beings, to be able to amplify these messages and be the voice of the Iranian people, because they really, really need that now. And they need the West to call on their own leaders to take decisive action against this regime, not necessarily militarily, but also government. Why is Europe still even considering, and the Biden administration, why are they still considering nuclear negotiations with this regime? There's no justification for it, not in any way, shape, or form.
Emily Schrader, a lot going on in this arena. I know you're involved. We'll follow up with you and keep following it ourselves. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Trying to shed a little light on the plight of people there.